Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Math Wizards 123. Today we're going to be talking about a shape called the trapezoid, and we're going to be finding out how to calculate the area that covers the space inside this shape using a formula. So let's take a look at some examples of a trapezoid that you may have seen before. If you've ever traveled across a bridge that looks like this, you may have been traveling right through a trapezoid. You can see the shape on the sides of the bridge. Your mom's purse may be in the shape of a trapezoid. You could very well be sitting at a trapezoid if you're inside my classroom right now. And we can take a dollar bill and turn it into a trapezoid. So today what we're going to do is take a look at this trapezoid and try to figure out how many square units could I fit inside this shape. So we're going to use this formula as we've looked at before. This is a simpler way that this formula can be written using the letters A and B. We have talked about the top of the trapezoid being called, referring to that as base 1, and the bottom of the trapezoid calling that base 2. So they have just simply used the letters A and B here instead. Either way, we're going to add the length of the top and the bottom of the shape together and then multiply that by the height. So we're always going to look for that perpendicular line that's attached to a square corner to see how tall is our trapezoid, and we will multiply by that height, and then finally we will divide everything by 2. So to get us started, let's go ahead and copy the formula. It's always best to write the formula first so that you can start plugging the values in. So if you're joining us out there in YouTube land, go ahead and grab a sheet of paper and a pencil and let's get started. So we have the formula is area. I'm just going to write the A for that, shorten it up. And I'm going to go ahead and call the top of my trapezoid base 1 and the bottom of my trapezoid base 2. And all of that is wrapped up inside parentheses. We will multiply that times the height and finish by dividing everything by 2. Okay, so now let's take a look at this shape. The top right here, I'm going to go ahead and just highlight it, is my base 1. So I'm going to go ahead and label this just to make it easier when it's time to start plugging in our values into the formula. And then the bottom of my trapezoid is this length that goes all the way across here, and that we're going to call base 2. Okay, and then we can see here the height is shown by this dotted line that's going perfectly straight up and down. The perpendicular line that is attached to this square corner, we can use that value when we're ready to plug in the height. So let's go ahead inside the shape. I think we have enough room in here to figure this out. I'm going to grab my top length, or the base 1, which I can see right here is 12, plus we will add the length of the bottom of our shape, which is down here, and they're showing us here that that is 16. All of that will be multiplied by how tall the shape is. So our height right here is shown as 8. And the formula shows us that we need to divide everything by 2. So once we have all the values plugged into the formula, now we're going to move to calculate everything. And it might help you to remember the rules of Pemdas. So I'm going to come over to the side here and just write out my Pemdas letters. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So this will help me remember what I should do in order when I'm calculating, because I can see we have more than one operation here. So Pemdas rules say that we need to take care of whatever's in parentheses first. So I can see here that I have a 12 plus 16. So I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to just set up my parentheses and take care of what's inside. So 12 plus 16 more, that makes 28. And I'm going to keep the 8 sitting outside the parentheses. and everything will be divided by 2. All right, I'm going to come down here a little further. We've already taken care of our parentheses. There are no exponents, so that takes us right to either multiplying or dividing. Now, you can see that the multiplication is on top, and then we have our line here that represents division. So I'm going to take care of the multiplication first by multiplying the 8 times the 28, and that gives me 224. But I still need to divide all of that by 2 to come up with my final answer of how many square units can fit inside this trapezoid. All right, so 224 divided by 2 is 112. So it would take 112 square units to fit and fill up the surface of this trapezoid. Of course, we'd have to trim some of the squares to fit them inside these tricky little angles here, but the total would be 112. So that is how we calculate to find the area of a trapezoid using our formula. Area equals base 1 plus base 2 multiplied by the height and divided by 2. So feel free to like, share, or subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and we will see you soon.